But the story of the NBA that was birthed in a way last night, although it has been discussed for weeks and months, and in New York Knicks fans' dreams for well over a year or two, after they acquired his brother for a hot minute, is the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks are done. They are done, and you could say they were done the minute they came back to the bubble because they didn't look the same at all that they looked from the regular season. You could say they were done the minute that Giannis turned his ankle in Game 4 and didn't return for that game, even though Chris Middleton performed well to force the Game 5 in which it wasn't enough for him. Okay. You could say it was done the minute that they, traded Malcolm Brogdon to the Pacers. You could say that. You could say that it was done the minute that they made a decision to stick with Eric Bledsoe and Wesley Matthews as the way to move forward with Giannis. You could say all that. But it really is all done now for Giannis in Milwaukee for the 2019-2020 season to forget for so many different ways. It's now Giannis and the Bucks on the clock about the future. Of course, it was asked of Giannis last night, and I'm sure he's still quite emotional in the fact that he couldn't go in a Game 5 and he couldn't go and finish Game 4, and the way that the season went is weighing on this young man who does everything right. He was asked last night if he's going to request a trade, and he said, quote unquote, "It's not happening. It isn't happening." Now, why would he be asked if he wants a trade, just for those who might know, is because he's entering the last year of his contract, and if he doesn't accept what's about to be put on the table from the Bucks in the form of a supermax deal, if he does not accept the supermax deal, then what is he waiting for from the Milwaukee Bucks? Except an exit visa. And the last person to be in such a position requested a trade. His name is Kawhi Leonard. He wound up on the Raptors, and we all thought, well, that's not going to work out. And then LeBron, we know that, Kawhi won the championship in Toronto and got the walking papers he wanted anyway. And now he's on the Los Angeles Clippers, your future NBA champion in the bubble. But it's on. The game is afoot. Because, again, if Giannis does not accept the supermax that will be placed in front of him in the window in which the Bucks are allowed to be the only team to pay him what's expected to be $85 million more than what any other team would be able to pay him in free agency once he would gain it after next season. If he says to the Bucks, take your whatever it is, you're seeing reports it could be as low as $220 million and as high as $250 million. If he says to the Bucks, you can keep that money, what more indication is it that he does not want to be there than that? Chris, I will tell you this.
Okay.
As you know, we came off hiatus just a couple weeks ago.
Indeed.
And as you know, I am now the proprietor of this program.
Indeed.
Okay. And a very nice deal that I'm very pleased with our friends at NBC, and we're happy to be here. The reason why I mention this is that if I ever am fortunate enough to offer you a deal that is worth $250 million,
okay,
and you say no to that, I will think, as the proprietor, something is up. That you do not wish to be here. Certainly if you say no, and I know that will be somewhere in the neighborhood of $85 million more than, say, Cowherd would be able to offer you.
Right.
I will think something is up.
Okay. I don't have that type of offer.
Neither do I.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, Mike, I know you've got a new boat, and you're feeling good about it.
Yeah.
So this is why Brian Windhorst came on the air from ESPN last week and said that if Giannis says no to the Supermax, then they should just rip the Supermax concept and language out of the future collective bargaining agreement because it was placed in the collective bargaining agreement for this exact situation, for a star of Giannis's caliber to be kept by a team in a market like Milwaukee's. This is it. And you are already hearing, because of what happened, and his coach Bud came out and said that, the 35 minutes he was playing him, or 36, was at the limit. And we're all wondering, what's up with that? Like, why isn't Giannis playing 49 minutes a game when they play 48, right? And we're wondering, what does he think of all these moves? What does he think of Milwaukee? Well, we're going to get an answer. And until we do, this is the story of the NBA, with the ultimate respect of what's going on in the bubble. And I do love the action, but this is it. We're here. And you're already hearing, as Chris Brockman reported, from being up in Northern California with the, if you will, in-laws, right? Cousins-in-law, that the local market, anchored by Sir Lawrence of Beale, my former colleague from SportsCenter.
Indeed.
Already, after Game 4, the remarkable comeback of the Milwaukee Bucks to stay alive, sensing that the body was, despite still warm, about to get very cold. Mm-hmm. An entire post-game show in the Bay Area after the ABC broadcast Bucks win. After that, the entire show was how Giannis can come to the Warriors. We had a good laugh about it yesterday.
We did.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to stop laughing soon. Because you're already seeing that the Wiggins contract that's about 90-some-odd million and change could be flipped to Milwaukee, along with that second overall selection. And you want to throw in a few spare parts.
Let's take a look.
Maybe Peter Guber's hair dryer from Shampoo.
Nice.
Nice little Warren Beatty 70s movie reference. Throw it all in together and offer it to Milwaukee, again, if Giannis says no to the Supermax. Because if he says no to that money, he does not want to be there. It's kind of like, again, the tuck rule. When you got a ball up here and you move it down to the bottom of your body, what better indication is you no longer intend to throw? The NFL took about 10 years for them to realize that that was not an intention of an incomplete pass. What more intention is it, I don't want to be there, than to say, I am not taking your $220 or $250 or whatever in between $1 million. So it's all on Giannis now. Reading hearing also some smoke signals from the Nets being able to put LeVert and Dinwiddie together along with some other. I'm reading up on all this stuff, hearing stuff.
We could just ask Kevin Durant.
Giannis, Durant, Kyrie, Steve Nash. Great job. Roll those basketballs out. And I would basically, as you know, being a Dolan despiser, what better way to stick it in the wormhole where it don't shine than to pull that one off? Giannis in Brooklyn with Durant and Kyrie. I don't even care if it makes sense, if it mixes, if it matches, if Durant and Giannis could play together. I don't even care if I'm the Nets. What better way to just fire a salvo from Brooklyn into 34th Street atop of Penn Plaza and basically flip both birds and say, take that, Knicks fans and Dolan, New York market. But Giannis could also be sitting there saying, I like it here, and I like $220 to $250 million, and we're all supposing this, but why didn't he say that last night? Leverage? Like, what's the leverage? The contract is the contract. He says he doesn't want to, he's not going to demand a trade. Well, he's essentially demanding a trade if he says no to this money because, once again, Chris, if you ever turn down, to me, a Rich Eisen Show Supermax deal.
Got it.
I'm thinking, you don't want to be here. And I'll make the according maneuvers.
Okay? What would you do?
I don't know.
There is less pie.
Thank you very much.
Like if you're honest.
I think I've just laid it out. This is it. This is it. And it started last night. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.